How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bodacious Rant with Burn and Rye. Man, after coming off of the high that Hoppers gave us over this weekend, not the drugs, I'm talking about the Pixar films, so, because Hoppers sounds like a drug. But anyways, that spoiler-free review is out, so feel free to check that out. And there's been a resurgence of horror in the last several years, which I'm all for. And we've gotten some solid remakes or reimaginings, if you will, like Nosferatu, Netflix's Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro. And then we have some just dumpster fires like Wolfman of last year. And just to remind you guys, this is our opinions. So if you did like this movie, more power to you. But I just could not. This is the first movie Maggie Gyllenhaal has done herself, directed and written. Oh, it's not? Am I incorrect?
No, this is her second directorial movie. The first one was 2021's The Lost Daughter.
I apologize.
I don't know if you've seen that one, but it was pretty good.
I have not. No, I'm sorry. Okay, scratch that. It is the second film for Maggie Gyllenhaal as a director, and man, this was definitely a misfire. Much like for Jessie Buckley after Hamnet, and we're talking about The Bride, starring Jessie Buckley, Christian Bale, Penelope Cruz, and for a bunch of other actors. And again, spoiler free, even though, yeah, I'm just gonna keep it spoiler free. So if you did happen to like this video, or you did just like watching me and Burn, me saying stupid stuff, feel free to give us a like, show your support, ring the bell for notifications, and of course subscribe. We appreciate you all for tuning in and checking us out. But yeah, so Jessie Buckley stars as the main character who, due to an accident, she ends up dying, unfortunately. But then Christian Bale as Frankenstein's monster finds her, reanimates her so she can be his bride, and they have a whirlwind adventure of violence, romance, lust, and all that, and revolution, really. And when I first saw the trailer, I was really interested. I was like, oh, Maggie Gyllenhaal doing a movie? Because I haven't seen The Lost Daughter, obviously. So I was really excited for it, and I love classic monster movies like Frankenstein, Dracula, The Wolfman. And I love Jessie Buckley. Both of them, Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale. Some of the best actors of our generation and previous ones. Especially after Hamnet and that movie Men from a few years ago. I was like, man, this could be really great. And wow, was I wrong. This was not what I expected. Maybe that's partially my fault. Maybe my expectations played a role into it. Given that the buzz has not been great around this, I thought, maybe people are just tripping. Maybe I'll like it. No. I did not. This movie just, it made, some of the choices just make no sense why she did it the way she did it. This reminded me of like some of the bad parts of Public Enemies with Johnny Depp mixed with Don't Worry Darling with Florence Pugh and I forgot the musician's name. I can't think of it right now. But this is just not a good combination of either of those, and it's not even really a horror movie. It had some like horror-esque moments, but it's more of like a love story, romance, bit of a drama and stuff like that. But man, I did not enjoy this whatsoever. Burn, what did you think about this? Is there any positives, or did you like it where I absolutely hated this? I have no idea. What's your thought process on this?
I mean, I don't think I can go too much more positive than where you are. I mean, I guess to get the positives out of the way, I thought it was shot pretty well. The set designs, the costume designs, the makeup on both Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale was pretty well done. And of course, they're both really great performers, so they give really interesting performances, to say the least. So they have that going for them in the movie, and it's just, it feels like this movie just has way too many ideas going on. It's trying to be so many things at once that it can't really do justice to any of them. Is it a love story? Is it a fun retelling of a classic monster movie? Is it a critique on feminism in the 1930s? Is it about crime in the 1930s? It's touching on all these things, but it does it at such a rapid-fired pace and can't really spend enough time on each of those, where it just feels like none of them are serviced. And that's unfortunate. So I don't know if it comes from a script point of view, or maybe the editing point of view. Maybe sometime down the line after the movie was shot, they just didn't know how to piece this Frankenstein monster of a movie together. But yeah, on all those accounts, it really left me like in awe of just like how messy this movie is, and that's unfortunate. I know you made the comparison to the movies you did, but the one this reminded me of was last year or the year before's Joker 2. It's that I've erased that movie out of my mind. Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah, so it's in similar ways as that movie. It's trying to do a lot of things and doesn't really focus in on the characters and give them these satisfying arcs and satisfying narratives. It's just jumping from thing to thing, from set piece to set piece. There's some musical dance sequences here that I enjoyed, just for the fun of it all. But man, for the longest time of this movie, just felt like a slog, just because I'm like, why do you want me to care about these characters and the things that they're going through? Like, there are moments in there that work, and because of course, Christian Bale and Jessie Buckley are both really, really great actors, and they make these small moments work, but in the whole, it just never really comes together, and it's just so scattershot and just so unfocused, where just like it leaves me like not caring by the end of the day, and that's unfortunate, because this could have been really, really interesting with all the subject matter that it covers, with the setting that it puts itself in. Like, from the trailers, I was very much looking forward to like a sort of 1930s Bonnie and Clyde, just punk rock version of a Frankenstein and a Bride of Frankenstein story, and didn't really get that, and that's very disappointing, I think.
It's funny you said that it was like very rapid fire when it went to scene. I hate to say it, after the first 5 minutes, this is the first movie I wanted to walk out of in a long time. I was just like, I felt like Ricky Bobby when they're like, "Hey, how's your physical therapy going?" Oh, I gave that up within the first day. Within the first hour, I gave it up. That's how I felt with this one, where somebody's like, "How was the movie?" "Oh, it was bad." Like, first 5 minutes were just awful, just not watchable. It's like, you didn't give the rest of the hour and a half a chance. I'm like, I didn't want to. I just think that, again, I think the way the trailers depicted it, I was hoping we were going to get a gritty, grounded story, like retold, like a different version of the Bride of Frankenstein retold in, the 1930s or something like that. Thinking, man, this will be really neat. It will be like a Bonnie and Clyde, but with Frankenstein's monsters, and I think that was a really cool idea. But man, this just did not succeed. If anything, I think a better comparison to this would have been, like, I kept thinking of Penny Dreadful and how they depicted those stories. I don't know if you ever watched that show, but for those of you who did, it was very much a touch upon some of these classic monsters, including Frankenstein's monster, and that executed it way better, given two different mediums, two different stories. But yeah, I don't get some of the creative choices with this. But if it were not for Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale, I think this movie would have been a lot worse, in all honesty. I don't think anybody else could have pulled it off, to be honest. They're really, even their acting and their talent could not save me from trying to enjoy this movie. And that's unfortunate, because I have nothing against any of the like Maggie Gyllenhaal, her brother, anybody about it. And the other thing that bothered me too is, like, we had Jake Gyllenhaal and Penelope Cruz in it, some other great actors, and they were also just there. Didn't really contribute anything. They could have been taken out and it would have been just fine. So I don't know what was going on in that brain, much like the brain of the main character. So I'm going to give this movie a hard 1 out of 5. It's very hard to recommend it. I guess if you're fans of the actors, or maybe you like the Frankenstein story, you may find some enjoyment. It only has a couple nice little musical moments to it. Not that I'm partial to musicals, but I'm just saying there was a scene I was like, it was well done. I don't get why some of the other elements played into this. So yeah, I would say $5 Tuesday, or just wait till it's streaming. In all honesty, I would say don't waste your money on this in the theaters, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I have to second that. And this one is kind of a hard one to recommend, that for all the reasons that you mentioned. I mean, look, Peter Sarsgaard and Annette Bening are also in this movie, and are all equally as done disservice as Penelope Cruz and Jake Gyllenhaal, and really a lot of the supporting cast. It's just one of those movies where, like, there's all the pieces there that should work, but they don't just come together in any sort of coherent or entertaining way. At least for me and you both here. I'm sure, like a lot of movies, there'll be some people that can watch this and get a lot of enjoyment out of it, and hats off to them. I hope they have a great time. But like you, an hour into this movie, even less than that, I was like, I was just kind of mentally checked out just because of like the again, the weird decisions that this movie make. There's a particular character choice, and you know what I'm talking about. People who watch the movie know what I'm talking about. That just really rubbed me the wrong way for a couple of reasons. Then I won't dig into that here because we're doing non spoilers. But yeah, that just kind of set the tone for the rest of the picture, and it was just like it wasn't really working for me from then on. And like you said, it's really only Christian Bale and Jessie Buckley's talent that is holding this thing up. Again, I do like all the other creatives involved in here. You know, I have nothing against Maggie Gyllenhaal as a director. I think she's been a really great actress and really big part of Hollywood for the last few decades. But this one was just a big misfire, and for me, this one is going to be a 1 out of 5 as well. This is one where it's just going to be hard to really recommend to anybody, and that's unfortunate, I think.
Yeah, it's frustrating when we have these movies that they have really good ideas and it looks great. I'm not going to say anything about that. The cinematography was solid, the makeup and costume design, like you mentioned earlier, but creative, like overall as a story itself, just incoherent, made no sense. It does a bit of a disservice to the author of Frankenstein, Mary Shelley, and I think it's just a misfire. I think Maggie Gyllenhaal should keep trying to direct because she knows how to work with actors, but this was just not it for me. But
yeah, I mean, I appreciate the big swings that the movie takes. I will always champion movies being a little bit more ridiculous than being safe. But there comes a point where you got to make a coherent movie, and sometimes you swing a little bit too big, and you got to rein it in a little bit. And yeah, I wish this movie did that because there was a lot here that could have worked.
Seriously, there's some movies that feel like they're just for paychecks. This one just felt like something out of a college student's dorm dream, really, where it's like, yeah, we got all these ideas, we know how to make this great. It's like, but do you though? Because you can direct and you can shoot it, but you need something to really make it make sense. But anyways, 1 out of 5 for both me and Byrne. We definitely do not recommend this, but to each their own. Feel free if you did happen to check this out and you liked it or you agree with us, put it in the comments without spoiling everything, of course. We'd love to hear everybody's thoughts, keep the conversation going. But until next time, everybody, stay bodacious and keep on ranting for us.
Absolutely, everybody. Be good, be safe, and as always, we'll catch y'all on the next one.